job. That was really a great job.
Thank you.
Hey, who picked your jewelry?
Melissa did, and I thought she did a fantastic job. I thought it showed beautifully from the stage. The donors loved it. I thought it was amazing. I want to get that pendant.
Were you involved with the picking?
No, not I.
Was Brande involved with the picking?
No, she went over alone, and I feel like...
I think she did a fantastic job.
I thought, what is each member of my team really good at? I'm going to give them ownership of that area, and I trust them.
She's got good genes at picking jewelry, but she
well,
did a very good job.
you picked large pieces that were visible from anywhere in the audience.
Was that on purpose?
Was a great asset.
That was on purpose, and I wanted a higher perceived value and pick things that I felt would read that way than what the minimum bids were.
Joan, you trained her well. Annie, who's the weak player in your team?
Nobody.
Well, if you have to choose somebody, Annie, who is the weak player? Every team has a weak player.
If I were to choose anybody, it would be based on money raising. Jesse and Melissa brought in least money, but...
Jesse, you seem a very nice guy to me. I'm curious that you know that I won last season despite my many inadequacies. Flaws, yeah. Psychological flaws. But you're all aware that I won because primarily I raised the most amount of money. I was shameless about it because my view was this was all for great charities. But you are not playing that game. You're married to one of the biggest stars in the world, right?
Yes.
Is there not a way through her circle of Hollywood pals that you couldn't get a lot of money for charity?
I was trying.
But your wife says no?
I didn't ask my wife.
Why is that?
I don't mix business and pleasure.
But you must know lots of movie stars, right?
I don't. A couple.
Have you asked them?
No.
I'm curious. I mean, it just seems to me an obvious way to get loads of money. And in the end, whatever the argument, it's all for charity, you know?
Okay. Joan, what do you think of your team?
I am crazy about my team.
Didn't you think Clint was a little bit on the long... I mean, I was going to say Clint. That's enough already. And when you got involved, it seemed to speed up a little bit, Joan.
Yeah, well, you know me, Doug. I'm going to tap dance.
No, but that's what you did.
But why weren't you out there from the get-go? I mean, you would have seemed like the more obvious, and you were incredibly knowledgeable about jewelry, so why weren't you out there?
Because I did the fashion part of it, and Clint said I would like to do the auctioneer, and I like my team all to participate. This is not a one-man band.
Now, Ivanka wasn't happy with the pieces that your team picked.
They were hard for bidders to see from the back seats. And it made me look a little bad. You know, it reflected a little badly when nobody is bidding on pieces of jewelry.
I was trying for the opposite effect, so...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who picked the jewelry? Who actually picked the jewelry?
I did.
So that's a little bit of a mistake then, based on what Ivanka's saying, I think.
It wasn't that there was anything wrong with the jewelry, obviously. I mean, you didn't have momentum from the get-go.
What we did is we took all our donations and we put them all into one package, which we were allowed to do.
Yeah, but you ended up not selling one item out of 5.
But that wasn't the task. Our task was to get the most money that you could and do that as well as we could. We were not told you have to sell all 5.
So wait, let me just ask you, Joan, do you think it's okay in this scenario where I was asked to contribute jewelry for the purpose of charity, that you know only one piece is going to be bid on out of 5, and the other was a free-for-all?
I think...
Do you think that's right to me?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a jewelry designer. I think that the task was to make the most money. And that's what we were given. It wasn't to embarrass you.
You turned the auction into a complete farce. Clint was left doing his one-man show to an audience that was never going to respond for what seemed like days, weeks, months. I mean, I could feel the will to live seeping out of me. And if you are representing the Trump family in a show that is run by Donald Trump, the least you should do is show some basic respect to Ivanka and her work.